Hello again. It's October 14th of 2021. This is the Spiritual Toolbox number 25. Audio recording number 43. The examination table number 6. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and I know I'm in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and my next verse is verse 2 on that one. Okay, but I'm going to jump and show you some things here. Okay? Enlightenment, another tool. Okay? And this, I'm going to label this. There's 4 words in the whole Bible. Okay? That's translated as hell or grave or whatever. Okay? Pit. Okay? I'm going to show you just a little bit. Give you the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance numbers to that and explain it some. It might take a few things I don't know. I've got laid out. I don't know how well. It's not exhaustive. This recording isn't. But it's a start. It's that examination table. Documazo. Not may prove. You know, like it says in the King James Version in Romans 12:2. No. Test it, prove it, examine it, lay it out there, dissect it, scrutinize it. Is my way of thinking, is that what I'm thinking is what I'm looking at, the way I'm being trained and taught to believe, is that correct or not? Let's look and see. All right. Let's see. God is not giving you a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. Let's look at this thing. All right. Don't just skim the surface and swallow that old translated word and say, there, it says hell right there, that don't. And then never regurgitate it, never think about it, never meditate on it, never take it to God and wait upon His answer. Not just beg. You're just always talking and you can't hear nothing and you're just talking and never allow God, never listen for God. Okay? You're just letting that ego be in control of your seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell, and you're fooled. Okay? Now, so let's dig in a little bit, okay? It's kind of like a synopsis of it, okay? Okay. This is also going to be like showing the, let me flip over here with my notes. I got my thing up here. All right. It's showing kind of like, when you're in these storms of your life. And God's bringing you through these storms. God's bringing these storms to you, okay? They're not just to do you and beat you down and all that stuff. It's to give you an opportunity. It's subduing that'll give you an opportunity to agree with Him. And then God places that old ego king in your mind under His foot, under His lifestyle, under the living one, the self-existing one. The smashing down for you. And you're like, yes, that is, get him! Right? Chop that thing out of there, cut that fleshly thinking out of my heart. I'm foreskin off my heart, right? Circumcise the foreskin of your heart. Of your mind, of your thinking processes. Cut it out, and then exist. Right through the middle, in between those things, the Spirit. Stay in the right-mindedness of God. Pursuing hot pursuit. Man, get passionate and desires that order feelings, just like the Father God. Okay? Just like God. It's not anger and violence. Wrath and all that stuff. Nah. It's a passion and desire, the intense passion and desire. Being really into it. In hot pursuit, okay? And you're in hot pursuit of God's right-mindedness. Because your old right-mindedness is under God's foot, or getting chopped out and stuff, is That thing that's been gone. If you're agreeing into God with all your heart, you got to make that decision right there. Okay? Now, this is like a dichotomy. Okay? Now, let me read the definition of dichotomy. It's a division into two mutually opposed or contradictory groups. Okay? One being your own right-mindedness, and it's this filthy, stinking rags, yuck, thinking, hog slop, right? When you see it for what it is, ooh, yuck, you mean I was thinking that way? Ooh, yuck, turn from that thing. Repent, metanoia, okay? And go back to God in hot pursuit. Oh, I'm coming back, Daddy, get that stuff out of me, woo-hoo! Don't matter what kind of storms of life that you're in. Party time in that big fiery furnace with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and God's in there. Woo-hoo-hoo! Lion's Den, same thing. Facing Goliath, that old carnal mind. It's showing pictures of this. Approaching these different balls, the different ways you think, different angles, whole myriad of ways. In a myriad of thought processes, God's working internally in you to the external to bring that grace, that divine influence in your heart, in your mind, in your thought processes, and its reflection out into your lifestyle, the way you think, the way you act, the way you live, your being, your very existence. And as you exist into God in hot pursuit, you increase from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 6. You're falling back into love with God so you can love Him greater in this area of your thinking process as He first loved us, as He loves us beyond words. Okay? Not a monster. He's going to punish you and blah, 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 blah. Throw you in this hell. Now, let's break this thing down here. Show you a little bit. It's a facade. It's not right. Hopefully those who have an ear to hear what the Spirit is telling them, they're seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell is not controlled by their own ego and what they thought and what they paid into and what they've lived their whole life thinking. They got to forsake that stuff. Ooh, yuck. Look at it be sober-minded. Look at it. Examine it. Look at it. Oh, man, you got to work out your own salvation, your own deliverance, not fear and trembling, but in reverence, honor. You're grasping onto God. You're looking at God. You're in God's thinking process. Oh my, yes, yeah! Right? It's party time here in these storms. Right? Oops, dropped my highlighter. That's when I use orange to highlight as a reminder, a trigger. That's the love of God. Okay? I color code these things and stuff, and it helps me to articulate it out, okay? Pat that thing down, regurgitating it, habitually practicing it, proso, okay? That's in Philippians chapter 4, verse 9, where it says do. That's habitually practice, okay? Maybe I'll cover that sometime, but there's a lot to cover, okay? So in this dichotomy, two mutually opposed or contradictory groups, that's God's righteousness or your own righteousness. Which one are you going to pick? And if you try not to pick any, you're choosing your own righteousness. Whichever way you go in these storms of life, you're falling in love with God, right back into God, returning, being reborn, let God rebirth you as you exist into that, or falling away from God. Boom, boom, boom. I gotta quit that. Get my neck hurt. But, right? You don't want to slip side away into that big old pile of crap with me, myself, and I in control. Your own ego that edges God out. No matter how good you think it is. Oh man, that's a good thing. I'm just doing it good. You're not hating no one by turning your back on. You're just turning to the right-mindedness of God. Your view, your perception of all these experiences and everything are changing from that carnal, non-spiritual, that ego thinking process of your own carnal mind right back into you're seeing it different. You're coming up higher. You're being reasonable and seeing my ways, says the Lord. Be reasonable, sit my way, my child. Right? You're shooting arrows productively towards the will, the target of God. Okay? And it's increasing. You're falling back into the love of God that is beyond words. Okay? Now, oh my, where to start here? Okay, I covered down to there. All right, some of these I'm going to try to read, not cover as deeply than others. I'm going to maybe do it a little deeper, but this is going to be your work. Okay, and I'm just showing you some stuff. Now in Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 7, it says, let's see here. Oh my. Let's read verse 6 too. Well, it's hard to read just a little bit in there. Oh my goodness, that's good. Romans chapter 8, verse 6 says, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Okay? Verse 7 says, but the carnal mind, that old ego of yours, of mine, of everyone's, that old ego thing that we were subjected to, not willingly, but in hope, okay? Okay? Because the carnal mind is enmity. It's directly opposed. It's you, yucky, yucky, yucky poo. Okay? Against God. Oh boy, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Now this against in there. I'm going to take you and let you look at this word. It's not against. It's EIS, pronounced ice. Number 1519, and it's this word.
Strong's G 1519, ice.
Ice. Okay, remember that's that to, towards, and into God. See, coming up from I love it, and to, and into, to, towards, into God, and then you're getting into that in God, in his right-mindedness, right? Existing in there. See, this is in your mind, right? The way you think, the way you act. That controls everything, like me reach over, grab this little cup of coffee, get me a drink. It's got to start here in my mind first. Not in my hand, not in the action. That's external. Don't polish the outside of your cup and make it look good, man. Put on a big facade, big show. Yeah, I'm a stage actor. Ooh. Expose that old ego in you. You dirty dog, shut the hell up. Right? We're looking at hell. Okay? We're looking at this stuff, okay? Now, we're going to, okay? I'm going to probably have to do a little series on this. I don't know if I can cover it all. It's just a little short one. Okay? Now, let me see, right here. So what against is into, basically, to, towards, and into. It's ice, okay? Okay, so now, in that Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity, it's directly opposed to this stuff, okay? And it's against, or it's into, to, towards, into God. It's going back in there, okay? The carnal mind's against you going back, doing that. It don't want you to come out of that stinking thing. It's got you under its control. It's under its bondage. It's like old Pharaoh had all those Egyptians, all Israelites under his control. God said, "Oh, soften his heart, his mind. He'll let them go, and then I'll harden it. He'll come after you." And that part in the Red Sea and all that. Okay, going through the eye of the needle. It's going to, towards, and into, right on the island. God's take care of you. Whether you're in lion's den or anything. Okay? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not upon your own understanding, and God will direct your path, your course of life, your thinking. He'll take care of it. where you're writing a note, doing it, whatever you're doing, you're keeping focused. That single-eyedness of a dove, you're tidally locked. You're focusing, a diamond son, a child of God, on the will of God, and you're doing whatever you got to do. It's added to you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his right-mindedness, and all these things will be added to you. Okay? Now, because it is not, I said, because the carnal mind is enmity against going into the right-mindedness of God, okay? The supreme divinity. I think it's theos there. Yeah, theos 23:16. That's the supreme divinity, okay? For it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. Okay, I got a bunch of stuff written out there. This not in that verse is that word 3756, and it's that OU. It's like ooh, OO, and I call it ooh yuck. That's hog slop, poop, dung. Right? Apostle Paul said he counted all things as dung for winning Christ. It's absolutely prohibited, absolute negation. This is a primary word. That OU 3756, it's an absolute negative. Absolutely not. Okay? No, not. Absolutely not. It's prohibited by God. Okay? And when, you're directing questions, whenever it's directed, you're putting this eye of the tornado, eye of the hurricane, eye of the storms of life. Okay? And God is putting a question to you. You got to answer it. Try not to answer it, or what all this stuff is. You're answering your disagreement with God. You're falling away, subsiding away, right? You're pursuing hot pursuit of God. Woo! Turn around there and repent. Change the way you think about that. Go back into God full bore. No holds barred, baby. Woo! Passionate desire. Man, emphatically. Okay? God's Christ, and God will, it's like he's saying, shall we crunch up this board, my child? And that one's own ego is absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're not going to kill me. This old crapping storm is just killing my butt. Don't be like what Lot's wife. Turn around there and head back to, Savior. Oh, Savior. Yeah. Don't be stupid. Turn into a pillar of salt. That's just worthless and detestable. Oh, yeah, yuck. You're turning back to that bullshit. Ooh, yuck. Thinking, no matter what you think of it. Gotta let that stuff be burned up, chopped out of you. Cut that fleshly thinking out of your mind, okay? Let God do it, okay? Agree. And those questions, that's asking the eye of the storm, okay? All right. Read this first and go on. I got more dug out here, but I'm going to run out of time for sure. Okay, listen. Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, it's going into God, okay? For it is not, it's absolutely not, absolute negation, not subject to the law of God, okay? And this subject is this 5293. Shoot, I'm gonna have to. We'll just have to make a little series out of this, okay? Okay, subject 5293.
Strong's G 5293. Hupatasso.
Hupatasso. Hypotasso. Okay? It's a verb. It's in the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. It means just obey. Obey God. Are you obeying God, or are you going to obey your old stinking thinking? And if you're not doing nothing, you're obeying it. You're being deceived. You're falling away, okay? Fall which way you going to fall. Okay? God's bringing that storm up there to cause you to fall one way or the other in the eye of the tornado, eye of that storm. You got either you're going to fall back into God with all your might, you're going to fall away into your own stinking thinking. Okay? And this obey, be obedient to God. God wants your obedience, not your sacrifice. And I say, well, God, I'm giving up all this old, all my righteousness, and try and trick God, manipulate. No. Okay? No, being obedient is to follow the commands or instructions of God, of God's right-mindedness. Not follow and obey this old barking dog. Bark, 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 bark. What, lassie? Huh? See, it's acting like a good dog. Like, oh, yeah. It's not talking intelligibly. He's trying to think out, what in the heck are you talking about, dog? You alpha dog? Right? Or if it's over a growling bark, it's like a bad dog. Oh, I'm telling you, I better do what it says. No. Don't give in to that old Goliath thinking. Ooh, yuck. Take that, the rock, the Christ, the anointing of God, and smack that thing in the head and cut its head off. Kill that old giant. Okay? Says, be reasonable and see or understand and obey what God's telling you. My way, God's way, God's will, God's desire. You know, that old ego absolutely disagrees. Don't slide into that stuff. You touch that thing and you can't get out yourself. It's your taste to see that the Lord is good and stay in it, exist in it in hot pursuit. Great passion and desire, and emphatically, God will pull you out of there. Hold on, baby, right? All right. Now, let's get down here, boy. I'm only going to have about less than 10 minutes here, but we'll start a little bit. That's just a little prelude to these 4 words. There's only 4 words in the whole Bible that's translated as hell or anything. Sometimes grave, sometimes pit, different ways. I'm going to show you. And in the whole Bible, let me go here real quick. I'll give you these words, and then we'll go back and break these words down and give a few locations. Okay? Now, in the old, let's see. In the Old Testament, the number 7585 in the Strong's is also concordance is spelled like S, and upside down, backwards looking E, whatever it's called, O-L. It's like Sheol or Sheol. And it's translated 66 times in the Old Testament. And it's hell, grave, pit, okay? That's the way the King James translates it, okay? Now, the about equivalent, pretty close to equivalent of that in the New Testament is Hades, Hades. It's the number 86. And it's translated, that first was 66 times. Sheol is 66 times and 64 verses. Hades is 11 times and 11 verses. That's New Testament, okay? Okay? That's really pit or grave, okay? This other idea of us God being a bully and all this stuff, dungeon and eternal damnation thing is a facade. We'll show you. I'll show you. And you can study, show yourself approved, and find out yourself. Not just look and see what's in the book, but you get, God will bring it to you in the storms of your life when you're not even thinking about it, and you got to choose. Okay? Now, the third word is Gehenna, spelled Geena. It's the number 1067. It's a New Testament word, Koine Greek. Okay, it occurs 12 times in 12 verses. And then There's one more word. I'm going to pronounce it Tartaru. Okay, it's spelled Tartaroo. Okay, I'll have us pronounce it and stuff later. May have to do that on another recording. I probably am. I've only got maybe 6 minutes left here. Okay. Now that one's translated one time in one verse in the New Testament, and let me find it here. I know I put it here. Right here. It's in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, and it's translated as cast them down to hell. Well, that sounds bad. It is yucky, but it's not this thing you're thinking of. Okay? We're going to open it up. It's the number 5020, like 5020, okay? Now, all those added together, the 12 times, 11 times, 66 times, and 1, all equal a total of 90 times in the whole Bible. Okay? Now, okay. I'll start on this, and we'll have to do more recordings. This is going to be the 4 words translated as hell, for 4 words used for hell, something like that. Okay, it's still in the spiritual toolbox in the examination table. Okay, I'm labeling it on this thing so you kind of follow. Okay, hopefully. And then you got to check it out yourself. You got to work out your own salvation, your own deliverance from this thing. Not fear and trembling, but, just reverence, honor, respect, basking and swimming in God's thought processes and realizing, recognizing, yes, sir, Daddy, you are the great hero. Okay? Now, give me a breath here. Now, let's go here to Job, chapter 26, verse 6. Was that right? Oh, I went up a little bit before I was on. Okay. Okay. Now, in verse 6, it says, hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering, in the King James Version. Let's just read here in the New King James Version. It says, Sheol or Sheol is naked before him, and destruction has no covering. Let's just do a little just translational comparisons, and we'll see. I may have time to go over this. I may have to do this on another thing. I'll go back and start. I'll start breaking down these words and showing you really what they're talking about. Okay. Now, in the King James Version, hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. Okay. Remember, the covering is God. This no covering is your own ego thinking, your own carnality. Yuck. Still like covering yourself in with that hog slop. That's not covering. That's pee and poop from hogs. Just swallow it one time, and that's all it is. I don't know what it was. It just went right over my head. Right? Now, the New King James Version translates it as, Sheol is naked before him, and destruction has no covering. The New Living Translation says, the underworld is naked in God's presence. The place of destruction is uncovered. The Revised Version says, Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. The New International Version, the NIV, says, the realm of the dead is naked before God. Destruction lies uncovered. The English Standard Version, I think ESV, Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. Can't read some of them others or Asian language. I don't want to speak. Okay, and it's CBS. Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. The ASV. Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon hath no covering. Sheol is naked before God, and destruction hath no covering. That's the Darby. The HNL. Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. And Webster, hell is naked before him, and destruction has no covering. The Young's Living Translation, naked is Sheol over against him, and there is no covering to destruction. The new NET is the underworld is naked before God. The place of destruction lies uncovered, and the BBE is the underworld is uncovered before him, and destruction has no veil. Like when Jesus died on the cross, what happened? The veil was rent or pulled back from top to bottom. Woo! In your mind. That's just translational. That's just the translation, the versions. A few of them. Okay? I'll break it down a lot better than that. But I'll have to do it next time. I'm about to run out of time. Thank you. Have a great day. This is going to be the 4 words of God, 4 words for hell. Number 1. It's the